Alright, Xenophilius. Now, no pressure, but you are about to give birth to one of the very first creatures that has the possibility of having mammoth foot in the Yukir tribe in untold numbers of generations. So, yeah, no pressure, but we've got to see what her baby is going to look like, so let's go for it. Mammoth foot? Mammoth foot? Do we have some mammoth foot? You guys, yes! Alright, so we have some mammoth foot in the family now. So hello everyone and welcome back to the Yukir tribe, and we are celebrating Tataku, and I'm still very suspicious about that name, Tataku's first child born into the Yukirs, and I'm very proud to say he does indeed have a mammoth foot. He does not have many of the other traits that we desperately want to see in our Yukirs, such as the horns. He doesn't have mega horns, or he doesn't have the armored body, and we are really missing that hammer tail in this line, at least right now, but very happy to report the healthy birth of a baby boy. Also, it looks like the weather is starting to get quite chilly, so we're going to need to keep an eye on that for our tribe. And basically, we're going to carry on with the celebrations that we started last time. So last time we talked about possibly trying to gather up enough food, and let's go ahead and start scooching creatures around so we can make that happen. But gathering up enough food so that we could call it a celebration in order to celebrate the arrival of one of the ancestors of the Yukirs back into the family tree with Tataku, our mammoth foot creature. And he is not exactly very talented, and he's actually a little shy, and he's a little smaller than anybody expected, but he is very compassionate, and everyone's just kind of taken a bit of a protective what is the word I'm looking for? You know, like a protective, loving, sort of like, aw, you know, like the family member who's really shy and you just can't help but like them. And they're just really sweet, even if they trip over their own paws, as large as they may be sometimes. So Tataku has been well accepted by the tribe. They want to celebrate his arrival by gathering a ton of food. And it's also gotten colder, so they're taking it as a sign to sort of cluster up and gather together, that Tataku's arrival is a reminder of the importance of keeping together as a family and really pulling everybody back towards the family nest. That's what they believe from the ancestor Anka, who was the guardian of nestlings inside of nest when it snows and gets cold, that they need to do. So even though the Yukirs normally scatter all over the place and they hardly keep up with one another because they're very independent, they don't need to worry about wandering too far with those armored bodies. Nothing like this predator that is trying to pester little Shira, nothing is really going to bother them. But now I think that our Yukir tribe is, with the weather dipping and getting colder, our Yukir tribe, anybody who is not on the grassy blocks, it looks like they're experiencing cold. So I wonder if I move Nota up here, if he'll still be cold. So I want to see if Rilana gets cold if we just leave her where she is, or if being on grassy blocks keeps them from being cold. Steel is cold, but I think that he is on the wrong type of grassy blocks. Koronu, no! We're about to lose Koronu, our only guild creature. Curses! I guess that means that our little experiment with trying to see if we could get some of the gills and things into the family tree may not pan out. Phooey. But alright, so now that it's getting colder, the family... Actually, that doesn't make sense because, look, Rokirnu is cold and he's on a grassy block. So yeah, it's colder for the whole island then. I just wasn't sure exactly what the mechanic was. And let's see, we'll gather up some more pieces. We'll go ahead and make a new nest. And let's see, Luli is a little bit chilly, and Xenophilius is warm because she's with her family. But yeah, in the old tribe, in case you guys don't know, the idea is that the Yukirs wander off and they're kind of independent from one another, sort of how Talo over here has really wandered pretty far from the tribe, so we got to start scooching him back towards the main group if he wants to survive the cold. I don't know if he's going to survive long enough to get back. But when it gets colder, They believe from their ancestors that they should stop wandering and they should gather to the family nest. And they pull that belief from what Anka, the mammoth foot creature whose children, Anakin Skywalker, for instance, were lost to the passage of time. They believe that that's the lessons that their mammoth foot Anka ancestor taught them, is that when it gets cold, that means it's important to turn to one another and help to warm each other's nest. So I'm going to have Rokirnu move down here. Now he's feeling better. Luli is going to move up here. Now she's feeling better. Let's see. And Luli needs to mate with Crove again. Crove needs to have a lot more children, actually. So we've got to be careful with that. Xenophilius is going to scooch up here. She's still warm because she falls within the boundaries of being with the family. And then we'll go ahead and have her... Should I have her step over here? Is that still warm? Not warm enough. So we'll scooch her in a second. But I wanted to have her get some more... Come on, come on, come on. Ah, the breeding didn't take. So Tataku and Xenophilius might have to really put some effort into trying to have kids together, because that may not always pan out the way I was hoping. All right. And we were going to go out and do a lot more hunting so that we could be like, yeah, we're going to gather up tons and tons of food and celebrate by getting like 100 food. But if it's getting colder, that means we have to hunt in packs. And that means that we should return to the family nest for now. So we'll focus on that. Oh no, the snow has begun. Oh no! And the drama has begun to happen. All right, it's a sign. We found the mammoth food creature right before we started, before we started freezing, and right before the snow started falling. So I think it's a sign to all wandering Yukir tribe members to about face as quickly as they can, but this is too much food to pass up with this carnivore, darn it, and to go and find the other tribe members to be with. So, Karanu, weren't you about to die of old age? I am so confused. Also, Steel, no! How did you get so cold? There we go. Alright, I think Karonu is going to call his son down here. And there we go. Now we have made it. Rilana should be warmer. She should be warmer. Does she need to, like, jump and be closer to them to help her out? Notha needs to warm up, so we're going to have to scooch some of our creatures around. Alright, let's go ahead and gather that up, clear away some of this grass. So yeah, it's a time to sort of pull in together. We don't really have enough food to focus on really breeding up a lot, but we're going to do our best. Alright. And Tallow, let's see. Oh, there's a little berry bush, so we'll have him do something with that. We've got, oh, little Molly's. Okay, so, and she's also healthy. Oh, thank goodness. That was a risk because Crove shared genes with her mother. So we're going to go ahead and name little Melise after her mother, actually, because I am going to miss that little one. All right, Melise, where are you? There you are. Let's find your mom. Your mom was Kamori, so we're going to name you Camise. Camise, there we go. And we'll name her kind of after her mother that way. But it looks like they're doing okay because they're in a big group. Crove, for crying out loud, you need to have more babies. I keep forgetting. You need to, like, have a lot more babies, or else I am about to start losing my pure-blooded Yukir tribe, and I'm going to be a little bit concerned. Meanwhile, Sissy, if only you would grow up fast enough. Rokirnu, you go ahead and eat this healing plant, Rokirnu. If he can live long enough, then he and Sissy can have some pure-blooded babies. And then Luli's going to jump over here, and we'll go ahead and have Janu stay up here where he can be warm too. So this would be very exciting for the Yukirs to kind of have their ancestral legends start coming to life by having the snowfall and realizing that they have to just stay closer to the nest and stay closer together. All right, Sasuke. Oh, that's Sasuke! Pure-blooded Sasuke! Oh, I love you so much! Thank goodness! And he could be a good mate for little Sissy. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, and Sissy, I need to give you a new name, my dear. Oh, thank goodness. We're gonna have the pure-blooded Yukirs continue on. Somehow I need to be able to breed them even while we are trying to watch out for all of the snow. So we're gonna name little Sissy. We're gonna give her a new name. And I'm looking for Akia, which means unique, apparently. So there we go, little Ikea, and I like that name because she is unique since not many of our creatures have stripes. Krav is kind of leaving behind several striped daughters right now, which I think is adorable. And let's see, Akia is pure-blooded? Yep, she's a pure-blooded Yukir. Wonderful. All right, and then we want to make sure that we have, let's see, another mammoth foot possibility is about to be born. So I removed the nimble finger and I removed claw from the mutation menu so it doesn't mess with moving out mammoth foot. So, all right, let's just focus on survival a little bit. We'll pick things up pace-wise just a bit so that the Yukirs can kind of focus just on trying to gather up what food they can. Anything else? Anything else? No, I think everybody's good. All right, gonna have a little flurry of babies born to kind of balance out the elders who are passing away. Spots! Oh my goodness! That's so cool! We've got some wee little Spots born! She's so cute! Oh my gosh! A little child of the snows! Look at her! I think that Anka, or Tataku, I called him Anka, I can't believe it. I think that Tataku is quite charmed by his little daughter, Rina. Let's give her a new name. Oh, she's so cute! Moon! Huh. That was actually literally the name that just came up. So we're gonna name her Moon, interestingly enough. And I don't mind naming her Moon, even though she doesn't have much moon-like about her other than the gray fur, because she's just so cute. And she has recessive hammertail, recessive armored body, and recessive megahorns with one mammoth foot. So not bad. We need to at least keep one mammoth foot in on the creatures we want to send to the next island. But oh my gosh, look at the snow starting to pile up. Good grief. Is the baby okay? Camise, why aren't you warming up? Oh my, wow, we just had another baby born with all black horns. That is so cool, but I am so enchanted by little Moon. I wonder why why they would name her Moon beyond the fact that that was just the first random name I scrolled to. But I kind of like it. Maybe that means that Tataku really enjoys looking at the moon. And so when he saw something so beautiful born as his little daughter with her beautiful spots, he named her immediately after the first thing that popped into his mind that was equally as beautiful, even if she looks nothing like the moon. I like that idea. I also love the way that Xeno kind of burrows her head down into her fur while she looks at her child. That is so cute. All right, well, dang it, Talo! Alright, Talo is lost to us, unfortunately, guys. I can't drag him out from the snows. Kalu! No, Kalu! Oh my gosh. Alright, I think that a little Koronu here. Koronu, didn't I change your name? Tataku, your son. I could have sworn I gave your son a new name as well. So let me go ahead and just make sure we do that. Let's see. Elfrida? Huh. So we're gonna go with Elfrida. We'll just call him Little Elf for short. But this is another name I actually think is from the same person who named Xenophilius, so it works out okay. But Elf here is meant to be a gentle ruler, is what the person who submitted the name says they feel Elfrida should mean. And I kind of like the idea. I'm 100% certain actually this is from the same list that I just randomly scrolled to as Xenophilius. And I kind of like picking the same complicated name as Xenophilius is, so that's pretty fun. But I think Elfrida would actually take very seriously the job of keeping any frozen tribe member warm. I really think that that would be something that Elfrida would feel called to do. And I also wonder if we might end up with one creature in the tribe, in the Yukir tribe, who has mammoth foot, who they would just feel that's their calling, is to make sure that the creatures who get lost in the snows will find their way home and they won't freeze to death. And that may happen because we're about to have the tragedy with Talo, and that's going to forever impact Elfrida, who does look like he has elf ears actually, and make him realize that maybe if he truly is descended from Anka's mammoth foot line and the ancestress Anka who warmed up the nichelings in their nest, his job is to make sure they don't lose anyone in the tribe from being too cold. So as he grows into a ruler, he would really focus on making sure that any tribe members who start to wander out when it gets colder stay in groups of 3 and make sure that they keep the niche babies in a very warm nest, and in all of his free time he'd be gathering more grasses to reinforce the warmth of the nest. So I really like that idea. I think that's going to be one of the new tasks that the mammoth food creatures of our line are going to feel they have. Alright, so Kalu is warmed up again, thank goodness. We're going to kick the tree, and we're going to gather up what nuts we can. Okay, we're going to jump over here, and as long as we stay in a group of 3 we should be okay. And then Tataku and his lovely mate will go ahead and try to get ready to have another baby. Oh, thank goodness, she actually immediately got pregnant that time. Well, that's useful. I might have her go ahead and sit under the tree. I don't know if they'll have another baby immediately. They may just spend their time kind of celebrating the snows quietly with one another, because we'll run really low on food if we keep having babies at this rate. And I do think that Janu wants to move over here and work on gathering up from this berry bush, and that Akia is going to move over here to keep an eye on little Camise, to make sure that Camise doesn't get too cold. And then we have Kuromi, named after, I'm going to name her Kurovi, after her father, actually, because she's the first black antlered female that we've had, and thankfully she is also completely pure-blooded, excuse me, and purebred for our Yukir line. So I'm beginning to think that having black antlers, or excuse me, black mega horns, is going to be like a sign of really abundant health and status and a little bit of nobility in the Yukir tribe. It's going to be something a lot of our Yukir creatures are happy to see their children or their mates potentially have. All right, and Crove, this is going to unfortunately be his last day with us. Whew, I really hope that he throws a male, because it hit me, I think we're almost out of our pure-blooded males now that I'm looking around. That makes me a little nervous. Crove, I'm going to have you scooch down here. I'm going to go ahead and have him destroy this nest to regather the material. Why not? And everybody else is all close and warm, and I'll let Luli go ahead and have her baby. I'm really nervous because I think we're getting super low on Yukir males who will really show off their traits. All right, Sienna, Shinra, there we go. Sorry, I've been definitely trying to say too many of their fancy names for too long now. Is still holding her own over here, and I think that's pretty cool. And I do want to try breeding her with Steel when we get the chance, because Steel has really great high fertility, and we may end up throwing some children with gills and trying to continue to work on that clam collecting underwater breathing project that we were sort of beginning to poke with the Yukirs. Or they might throw a creature with hammertail and mega horns, and maybe we'll just end up with another pure-blooded Yukir that can help to contribute to the family tree. I'm beginning to think that Nota might want to move over to where the rest of the tribe is, because he doesn't have hammertail, but he's one of the few males left, so we might need him to stick around. Also, we're like getting frozen over here. There you go, Koronu. And then Rilana unfortunately can't help out. I think she's actually kind of freaked out that a predator has approached. She was a wanderer who they came across, and she just kind of was like, hey, these people are nice, and has stuck with our tribe. But yeah, I don't think she can come over and help with the predator, because she could take a lot of damage from that, being lacking an armored body. Also, I forgot to take care of Nota. Nota, don't die on me. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, thank goodness the snow stopped. Ah, death! Death everywhere! Death and destruction! No, Shira! Oh my gosh! Wow, that was like ridiculously cold, I guess. And this is ridiculous. Oh my goodness! All right, we've got to start. Okay, get out of here, you. And then we'll get down here for you. There we go. And then we've got to like send down the line. Maybe everybody heard her cry of pain, so we're gonna go rescue Shira. Poor Shira. Oh, I'm so excited. And there we go. And Elfrid, I think it's going to start warming up now that the snow stopped. So Elfrid would possibly head out because he heard like somebody call out in the snow, and he's worried that somebody got hurt. And then Kalu, you gotta stay warm, buddy. I don't have enough. I really don't have enough creatures to... Oh, and I should use Tataku, excuse me, to kick the tree, now that I think about it, so that we can make some, save some moves on our nut collectors. Alright, and Xenophilius can go ahead and jump up into her nest again. Tataku, can he help out somehow? Maybe clearing a few things around and then running back into the nest. He can definitely do that. Yes! Oh, I'm so relieved! And look at all of Crove's children. Oh my gosh, he had so many children. We're gonna go ahead and name one Crove with 2 V's, I think. Maybe with 2 O's. But we're gonna go ahead and name him after his father, because I think Luli would want to. And wow, like Crove He's pure-blooded. Oh, high fertility! Yes! It's the best possible outcome! I'm so happy. Please tell me one of my pure-blooded females I can breed him with. So we have D and H immunity. D and H. Darn it. We have E and H. Ah! Alright, so we're kind of close. There's a chance we'll be able to have healthy babies with Krove and some of his sisters, who are some of the last pure-blooded Yukir tribe members that we have. Sasuke, I almost forgot. He's another male. Oh, of course. That's right. So he needs to go over here. He needs to start like sticking around my females that he might possibly become mates of. Noted. And Janu is getting a little chilly. So we'll have Akia jump over here. Here? All right, that warmed everybody up. And let's see. Kamis is sort of sticking over here. Now what to do with Luli? Can she breed? She could breed with Rokirnu or Sasuke. But it might be a little bit risky. Neither of them have very high fertility. So actually Krove is like A++ on keeping our pure-blooded line going. And he's kind of almost back to being a black rose if you look at him. If he just had black fur instead of white fur, he would actually be a reborn black rose, which would be fantastic to see in our Yukir line again. All right, Luli, I'll have you scooch up here. And because you've had so many babies, go ahead and just think about having more. But I think we need to start spreading out a little bit. I think now that the snow has stopped, a lot of our tribe is starting to get a little antsy. They're kind of feeling like, maybe we want to keep moving. Maybe there's something out there to discover and explore. And we do need to secure a better food resource. All right, let's see what we have. Who the heck? Is that a rogue male? How about nope? How about get away from my females? How about no way, Jose? Not with doubled up crippled paw, not with medium body, not with swimming tail, not with short-sighted eyes, not with blind eyes, sir. I feel like, what's that tail? I need somebody, my nanny heart can't take it. My former nanny self is being let down. What's that? Is it like a Dr. Seuss? Not with this, not with that, not with those. I want somebody to tell me what that is, please. I know there's a book out there like that, but I feel like that towards this rogue male who just shows up in the snows. He's like a shadow on the snows, and he's not allowed to be here. I refuse to accept him into my nest. Like, adamantly refuse. All right, and now we have Taduk. I kind of want to leave his name because it's so close to Tataku, but we're going to go ahead and give him a new name and check out his genetics and see how the twists and turns to the family tree are going. And he's going to be named Tak. So there we go. Which is the first random male-sounding name that we pulled up from our awesome list that you guys have provided. You guys have heard that spiel enough by now, so you know how to submit the names for the list if you so wish. And Alfred is still doing a little bit of exploring. Get away from my females. Get away. In fact, we're going to go ahead and Lului is going to give you a very clear insight. Hello? Excuse me? I think that... Get out of the hot spring. Nobody wants you here. Do you understand me? Oh my gosh. But I want you. Hello, my dear. My poor little lost itty bitty little mouse on the snows. Oh, was this rogue chasing you? You know what? We're gonna go ahead and Rokirnu is going to just pull you in away from that big awful rogue. Don't you worry. You can rush into the family. And it will protect you. We won't let that nasty rogue get near you. I mean, technically Tataku could at least like also come over here. He can defend some of the tribe by standing here at least and like smashing down his big old paws. Oh gosh, speaking of smashing things though, we gotta get some more food. So little Masiko has been chased into our tribe by this big bad shadow in the snows that Tataku is like actively trying to chase away. That's pretty funny. Well, it's not funny for poor Masiko. Now we have another mouth to feed though, and like more on the way, and I'm not sure about that. So we're gonna have Sasuke come over. Can he warm up at all? And I think Alfred is getting a little agitated that somebody is like being chilled in his presence, so he might call out and maybe Moon will come over and join him. There we go. So I think Moon will come join her brother because her brother's really freaking out that Sasuke is cold. And is Moon warmer? Like, are they warmer? Cold resistance 2. They have 2 cold resistance. What? From what? They're Mammoot foot. Okay. forgive me. This is going to sound ridiculous. I actually truly thought mammut fruit didn't provide more cold resistance. I must have forgotten that it does. So now I'm quite tickled that my made up idea for mammut fruit warming the nest actually has some precedence. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that. All right, and Krovi, will stick her over here to hang out with her mother and protect everybody from the big bad evil rogue. And we'll have Xenophilius stay over here. Luli, kind of want to have Luli jump in the nest, and Little Crove is curious about this newcomer, Masiko, and I think Janu. So Drokirnu managed to invite this poor little mouse into the tribe. She has B and I immunity. I kind of want to breed her. We don't have enough food to justify that, to be honest, unless we start sending creatures down to search for some clams. But there's an idea. Maybe she could talk about the clams because she has fishing tails, so maybe she's from the waterways and she can mention, yeah, normally she hunts down by the clams and she just got lost in the mountains and chased by this terrible, terrible rogue. So, we might do that. All right, and Rilana is a little chilly. Oh dear, and we still have Shira. Oh, that's right, Shira has all this food. All right, let's warm her up and get her food. Woo! All right, that's gonna be a lot of food just in time too. Nota. Shira. You guys have identical genes, or else I would say that would have earned, in my books, a romance. But they have identical genes, and I don't know if I want to risk that. I kind of do, because I like Nota, but I kind of don't think it's worth the risk. Also, Steel, meanwhile, would make a healthy mate for Shira. So, Alright, we're going to continue our attack on this guy. About time we finally took him out and can get the food from him. And how's the rest of the tribe going? I think we are going to start wiggling our way down. We're not going to find any more like resources of food just waiting around up here. And Luli, I don't even remember who I just got Luli pregnant with. That could be a problem. I'm gonna let Luli just kind of jump into the nest, and we will start searching for, clamshells or leeches, or might as well, there's some bunnies. So I think that now that the snow has eased up, everybody is getting in the mood that the Yukirs often start getting into to spread out, search, and try to find some new food resources. So we've got a bit of a pure-blooded line going on, which is fantastic. We have our mammoth-footed creatures being born, which is also fantastic. And I'm kind of in love with Alfred. I really, 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 really like him. And I really like that he takes very seriously the task of making sure the other tribe members don't get cold to heart, and that his sister Moon is going to help him out by chasing down any freezing creatures and keeping them warm. So we also need to make sure that Tataku, with only 12 days left, has plenty of babies. So I hope he and Xenophilius will be able to do that, but we got to keep an eye on our food resources. So, adventure. Adventure, stories, legends, myths, and more. Unvolving and evolving. Unvolving? You can tell I'm a little tired now. We've got birds circling overhead. We've got rogues pestering us on the sidelines. Are those clamshells? Can I see the clamshells if I back up far enough? So cool. We're definitely going to have to use that to our advantage next time. But alright guys, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.